Good morning, everyone, and welcome to LANE County Wellness Corner. My name is Jed A. I'm the host of the LANE County Wellness Corner, where on a weekly basis we have this podcast and we are interviewing people from around LANE County. The LANE County Wellness Corner was created as a mechanism to communicate the LANE County Wellness Consortium's profile, and it has been formed exclusively to bring dedicated professionals from all fields of wellness together with a common goal to increase and perpetuate the opportunities to directly and indirectly serve the LANE County, Oregon's community with qualified, innovative professionals dedicated to promoting healthy-centered mental and physical lifestyles for an ever-evolving landscape of the human wellness field. And we do this on a weekly basis with the podcast. LANE County Wellness Corner is a podcast where we interview and chat with local LANE County, Oregon wellness professionals. This 1-hour weekly show has several goals in mind. It's to introduce you to the local practitioners and organizations that serve the community, learn more about their specialties and the services and what types of clients that they work with and serve, and most importantly, how long it takes to get an appointment. You know, this was a critical component and aspect to the consortium. The demand on services has never been so high, and in many cases, clients can't get the help they need when they need it. So tune in weekly on Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time and learn what you may not know about wellness and get the latest updates to find out who and where the right professional and organizations are to meet your needs. I have a guest today that I am really excited to introduce you to. Um, Crissy Oyervides is a senior director of programs at Youth Era, a nonprofit organization supporting young people across Oregon through peer support and youth co-centered programs. In LANE County, Crissy helps lead outreach-based peer support for the youth and young adults, working alongside young people to design services that feel human, accessible, and grounded in real needs. Their work centered on youth voice, equity, and building spaces where young people feel seen, supported, and connected. Oh, welcome, Crissy. Let's get her out of the green room here. What? There she is. Sorry about that.
That's
Good
okay.
morning,
Hello.
Crissy. How are you?
Doing so well. Good morning.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, this show is. I gotta give a brownie point to Crissy. After we spoke the first time she wanted to come on the show, all of a sudden there were 3 unsolicited requests to be on the show, and I give that credit to Crissy. I don't know what kind of vibrations she's got going, but it's really working well because we've got
Thank you so
3
much.
people who are coming out to be on the show over the course of the next month or so.
Yeah, that's
So
so exciting.
yeah, so let me put up Crissy's stuff here. If you need to get a hold of Crissy, you can get a hold of her at her email address right there on the screen, and we'll just keep letting that go through, or her LinkedIn connection. Oh, and by the way, we're only 15 connections away. So if you're listening and you have a LinkedIn account in LANE County, go ahead and get connected with us. Let me put that up here real quick. Where are we? There it is. I'm going to show this one. This is our LinkedIn connection, and what advantages that does is it gives us the opportunity to also simulcast on what is known as LinkedIn Live, which is really another avenue besides our YouTube connection. So connect with us on LinkedIn. We'd be more than happy to make a connection. So, Crissy, let
Mhm.
me Get you back up there. Let me ask you a couple questions. We'll get started with a for the folks who've never heard of Youth Era. How would you describe what you do and why your work matters for young people in Lane County and across Oregon?
Yeah, thanks, Jed. Thanks so much for having me on too, and hello to all your listeners.
Yeah.
So yeah, Youth Era has been serving Oregon since 2009.
Wow.
We hire and train young adults as peer support specialists, and we do that across the state. And then here in Lane County, we offer specialized peer support roles. So that's for youth who could be in recovery. And
Okay.
we also have a peer support who works directly with youth experiencing houselessness. And the goal there is to help them access and maintain sustainable housing. All of our
Oh
peer
yeah.
supports, yeah, all of our peer supports are trained as traditional health workers, which means they get to bring their lived experience to the table as well as professional standards to the support that they get to provide.
Oh, awesome. So,
Mhm.
what are some of the biggest challenges that young people in Lane County face right now? How does that, how does Youth Era show up in the ways that feel different than traditional services?
Yeah, well, it's like you had in your opening, you were talking about how it can be really difficult to get support like in a
Yeah,
timely fashion right now. So definitely, that's what we're recognizing for young people as well. Is that it's a challenge just to simply get support, and a lot of the time, support is behind like a paywall, needing insurance. And with Youth Era, our peer support, you can literally access it that day.
yeah.
Um, you
Wow.
can, yeah, if we are on social media, like you can literally send a direct message and that day have somebody supporting you. So it's a really big need right now. I'll just say like youth really appreciate the way that Youth Era provides support. We really reduce the stigma around like even having a conversation about your mental well-being or about your health, your goals, any of those things. It's just a direct conversation that you get to have with
Sure.
someone.
Yeah, I think it just came to mind when you were talking. Is there also a physical place where they can go and hang out so that they're not in a vulnerable area or that they have to sit on the street? Is there a yeah, is there a physical housing area where they can go and hang out?
Mhm. So right now, Youthera, we do have a very small location. We did have a drop-in center located across from the Holt Center, but that is
Oh
currently
yeah.
closed. So
Uh-huh.
while we're navigating being a community-based program, we do have small space where we can do like one-to-ones and do groups.
So can you share a little bit about what peer support looks like in real life?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you for asking that. So, peer support in real life is so amazing because the thing about peer support is it's highly flexible and it's culturally responsive, allowing peers to be able to listen to youth around their hobbies, their goals, their ideas. And then we shape our support to sync up with that. So,
Ah,
we train our peers in developmental assets and positive youth development so that they can gain the skills, and that can look like, though, however, different to other models, doing painting, playing a card game, doing a pool table, video games, working on
yeah.
your resume. But at the same time, what looks like is just a fun activity, we're actually having like deeper conversations with youth to support them on their goals.
Well, and that's probably why, a lot of youth don't trust the system. They don't
Mhm.
trust what, you know, um, an adult centered program, which is probably one of the reasons why they're struggling or they do struggle is because they can't trust those systems that were put into place. So this
Mhm.
sounds like a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, and when you say that, it's because the systems weren't designed with youth at the forefront. They weren't
Right.
designed with youth in mind. So it's natural that it's that way, but allowing to have peer support in the community, it does give youth an opportunity to access something without any trouble. Also, if you're over the age of 14, you can just come in and get peer support right away too. You don't need like a parent sign off or anything like that. You can get support right away.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's super.
Hmm.
Because sometimes I can just imagine that the parental support is also questionable at times too. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
I remember back, I'll date myself, 40, 45, 50, 50 some odd years ago. I remember my mother was involved in a youth program up in Portland. I don't even remember. I know that she worked the Serbu used to be called Skipworth
Uh-huh.
back in the day, and I remember my mom worked there in youth services, and then also when back in the '60s when we moved to Portland, she continued that work. I couldn't tell you what organization it was with, but I know she worked on the streets with kids that didn't help me any at that time. I got in just as much trouble, even though she had her thumb on other kids.
Hmm.
Her own kids kind of swayed by the wayside.
Yeah, exactly. And with Youth Era too, like we are very happy and take a lot of pride in the fact that we see youth and young adults as just that, and that they have the ability to have agency over their life. And a lot of times when you are experiencing like a mental health challenge, it's difficult to tell the closest to you, like your
Right.
family. It's
Yeah.
easier
Right.
to just come into a peer support program or a building that looks like a lot of fun and be like, hey, yeah, I actually do need a little bit of help right now. So it's
Yeah.
nice to have it be so low barrier.
Well, so let's talk about this co-creation.
Mhm.
That word you use quite often in your literature. So rather than, well, yeah, what does that mean? What does co-creation mean?
Yeah. So I think, it can look different for different organizations. Like I think a lot of organizations will say our programs are youth led or they're co-designed, but it means different things in practice. For us,
Okay.
co-designed means we're intentionally building, right? Where all like our structures and our programs with youth voice directly influencing like how our programs evolve. Truthfully, we may not start every program from scratch with youth at the table, but we
Uh,
actively create like feedback loops. We listen, we make sure that we're taking that voice and improving and expanding. We're always trying to improve, and we're always trying to make sure that we're counting and listening to what young people are saying about our program.
so why is that distinction important?
Hmm. It's so important because for young people, they're used to, like we were saying earlier, around systems, they're used to things being created with an adult mindset only.
Ah,
With the
okay.
co-created, it's like, okay, it's a partnership, which really matters to young people. It's saying that your voice matters just as much as my voice matters, just as much as our community's voice matters. So there's no like real true hierarchy. Of course,
Right.
like decisions have to be made, but it's always with this idea in mind that we're doing this together.
So let me ask you this: is that also then grow and morph into an opportunity for these young people also to become a peer support person?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that. So we actually have so many people right now that are working in Youth Era who were actually our youth.
Ah,
One of my program managers in Tri County, she was a youth, and this was years ago, and now she's a program manager.
oh,
So it's
wow.
pretty amazing, yeah. And it's if that's the path they want to take, 100%. Like you can
Sure.
come to Youth Era, and if you want to learn skills and you want to, whatever pathway you're wanting to go, we can help guide you.
Wow. All right.
Mhm.
Well, so what are some of the other ways that support young people beyond the crisis component? I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, um, youth in crisis, anyone in crisis, everything is very urgent. But are there other ways that you support young people?
Yeah, I would actually say for Youth Era, like our programming is not actually crisis response. We're actually
Okay.
way more we're way more like responsive to actual like goal setting, skill building, learning human skills, soft skills, supporting youth with like getting the things that they need, or even just getting basic needs, things like that. We're mostly like a relational organization. So we're really trying
Oh,
to,
interesting.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
really trying to create space where people can be human and learn those skill sets that they need so that they can, like, our whole point is for youth to get empowered and to feel
Right.
like they can contribute back out to their community and learn how important it is to care about your community. It's like first care about yourself, care about others, and then give back out into the community.
What let me ask you this: that when a young person makes their first contact with Youth Era space and connects with the peer support, what what's the hope?
Mhm.
What do they feel like they need the most? What does that moment look like?
Yeah. I think the moment looks so very different for every young person. I can say what we hope for though is that immediately they feel seen. Immediately they feel heard and like they have somebody who's going to actually listen without their own agenda. That's one of the things I love about Youthera is we don't come into it with an agenda. We're not trying to scoot you through an office or anything like that. So I just hope that they feel really truly seen and heard.
So, what does that look like? If I come to you
Mhm.
and say I'm 15 years old and I'm living on the streets, what
Yeah.
does that look like for me?
Mhm. Well, that looks like recognizing that that's exactly where you are, and showing up without judgment. Our peer supports are going to figure out first, like, what is it that immediately you need, right? Because we can't really talk about like goals and planning if like our basic needs aren't met. So, like, if your tummy's
Okay.
hungry, you
Yep.
haven't slept, you don't have all the clothes that you need on. So, we always just assess like first, like safety and comfort. Do you have what you need? And then it's an invitation. We don't like to really pressure young people. We just want the invitation out. This is where I'll be. This is how you can connect to me. If
Right.
you'd like to meet regularly, 100% we can. If you don't, we don't have to. If you just want to come because you want crackers and a juice, totally. So that it's just so door open to
Hmm.
being able to be responsive to young people.
So I would ask, I suspect that it depends on the individual about how long all this takes. Uh, Depending on, like you said, depending on where they are at that very moment, um, could this take weeks? Could this take months? Could this take years? What are you
Mhm.
looking at as a timeline?
You know, looking back at it now, I think a lot of our youth will kind of stay in peer support for anywhere to like, 6 to 12 months. So like be with
Oh,
us for like a
oh,
solid year.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then after that, they start to learn now, like, because they come in, they have whatever challenge that they want to work on, or if they want to work towards a goal, they do. And then they start to realize, wow, I can do this on my own. And then they kind of go out of our program and then go into something else and start supporting other people or just follow their own goals or career line. But we definitely do see special cases too. So like, if we meet a youth when they're, 14, we could be working with them till they're like 16. It just really depends on the type of programming. So like for LANE County, right? We'll have
hmm,
the recovery peer support specialist. So that can look very different. Recovery is all over the place. And
oh
so
yeah,
we want
yeah.
to, that could look very different there. And then for youth experiencing houselessness, we hope that's a quick one because we hope that we have got you the basic needs and then we hope that we get you into housing and then you're no longer like needing that support so much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. And so let's talk about that housing.
Yeah.
Um, because I'm making an assumption
Hmm.
because they don't have um, a strong income base or a strong income history. Um, how does that work? How is their your housing support? How where does that come from?
Yeah, I love this. So our youth experiencing houselessness program is funded through the Oregon Department of Human Services. And
Okay.
so basically what that looks like is our role, our responsibility is to we need to have the knowledge of where are the resources. There are things like
Okay.
vouchers for rent, there's support specifically for foster care youth. So it's our responsibility, so my peers that work in LANE, to know the whole LANE County map, what is available out there, and how do we give support them in learning this knowledge. And then also the background work that we do too is, okay, do you have, like, what skills do we have already? Can we apply for a job? Do we need to get our ID? Do we need to get
Hmm.
interview closed? Is there a shelter we can get you into like this, or is this going to be a moment? And if it's going to be a moment, what do you need? So if you're going to be outside,
Sure.
just really thinking through every single step is what our job is. So our job is to literally walk alongside and share the knowledge.
Yeah. So there's definitely a stark difference between the long term support versus the physical drop in support that obviously takes place as well. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Uh, well, yeah, I am going to take a break right now. We'll take a program break, and we'll be right back.
Lifestyles Renewed is a place where you can find a safe and welcoming place to begin to heal and create a life where suffering is not the regular path, but rather where you can learn to manage your life in a healthy way. Lifestyles Renewed will offer hope and help you regain control over your life. Please don't hesitate to call. Your first consultation is the most important meeting, and it is at no cost to you. Just call 541 954 1268. Again, 541 954 1268. Thank you, and we look forward to meeting you.
Okay, we're back with. Oh, I got to get that up there. Where's my note? Hang on, be patient with me. There we go. Uh, we're back with Crissy from Youth Era, and well, I just lost my doc. There it is. So, Crissy, let me ask you, uh, when what is the ultimate goal when a young person walks into your space? What is the ultimate goal for you? What is
Hmm.
your goal for them? I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah. The goal for them is to get exactly what they came in for, to find
Okay.
somebody, yeah, to have access just same day, to be able to meet with the peer support and just know their options. Again, we try not to be like too pushy, because that's like what everything else is. So I think the goal is come in, get greeted, get treated well, get treated with respect, and then be able to make your choice of what's available. And then if you'd like to continue and have continued peer support, then that'd be awesome. But again, the door's just open for them to come in and be as they are.
Yeah, right. So let me ask you, we're kind of going through everything pretty quick here. I want to kind of back up and pick up. You did I understand you to say that you currently don't have drop in space right this minute?
Correct. We don't have like a
Where are
drop.
you with that?
Well, I was really excited to get on this podcast too, because you never know. Someone could be like, what? There's no drop in space. Like, let's make that happen. So that's a dream
Okay.
if anybody's interested in that. But ultimately, we have our office space that's out on Oak Street in Eugene. And we've decorated it beautiful, and it is definitely a safe, clean space. It's going to have food and all the things that a young person could need. And even for the recovery program, all the recovery support. So yeah, I mean, right now it's just looking like that small office, but we are doing everything that we can to basically increase funding. As a nonprofit,
Right.
that's where we're at. And right
Yeah.
now in our climate, it hasn't been the easiest, but we never give up, and we're trying to just strengthen our name in Lane County and show everybody our consistency, and hopefully over time we'll have back a drop in space.
Yeah. I got to say that is probably one of the most frustrating pieces to any support services, whether it be youth or whether it be adult. It's just money is not available, and
Hmm.
what money is available is used up very, very quickly, and
Hmm.
it's really kind of a that's tough. It really is.
I will say though, like, even amidst that for all of us, like, for example, what we're doing today, Jed, like, we're finding ways that don't necessarily have a financial impact to connect and to share our work. We're finding ways to kind of be a bit more grassroots. So I do appreciate,
Oh,
yeah. And I'm saying that even for us, what we're doing here, me and you today, like these are the types of things that all of us can do is support each other, share each
sure.
other's profiles and work. And, you need 15 more people to just sign up on your LinkedIn,
Yeah,
be
I
able to go live. So
it's just kind of the momentum is amazing. I knew that this was going to be challenging to get this podcast up and off the ground and running, but I was really surprised. Again, I'll reiterate for those that popped in late after inviting you to be a part of this particular show. I had 3 unsolicited requests, and it's just it, I gotta say that is the energy, and things get to snowballing, and so I hope that this is part of a snowball for you and the youth era program.
yes, me
That
too.
would be
Yeah,
cool.
I claim that.
Okay, we'll claim that. So so did I understand you correctly that at the office? Where is the office on Oak Street?
It's 1635 Oak Street.
Okay, between 16th and 17th on Oak.
Hmm.
So, is that also a small and I mean large enough that someone can come there and
Oh
maybe
yeah.
sit in your office and have a conversation?
Oh, 100. Yeah, so it's a two-sided office. We have our main side, which is like where my office is, and I'll do my daily work. And then
Right.
there's the other side of the office that has like a big main entry room with TV. You've got like games, and art is like number one. We always have an
Okay.
art station. So we
Okay.
have an art station, tons of cute. I mean, if you ever want, Jed, you can come and check it out after I've got it
I
fully
will.
furnished
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's going to be
Definitely.
so beautiful.
Well, and so temporarily, this is a place where young people can come to um, be in a safe place, and that's really what's important. So,
Absolutely.
so let me ask you this: what is it? What does meaningful support look like working with young people who've been let down by most of the system before? What does that look like?
Yeah, I love this question. It starts with like not promising what you can't deliver, for sure.
Ah,
Yeah. Many young people truly have experienced like adults or school systems who have overpromised and then just disappeared.
yep,
So meaningful support is truly consistency. It's following through. It's being honest about limitations. So our peer supports, for example, we only have, we are a nonprofit. We don't have like endless amounts of funding or money to just like buy all the things for a young person. So right when we meet with someone, we explain what our role is. We explain the boundaries and our capabilities and what's outside of our ability. So it's never a question, right, for a young person to be like, oh, can I have this or can I have that? They already
right,
know.
yep.
Yeah.
So there's a question in the chat box.
Yeah, I see that.
What? Yeah, did you see that? What
Yeah.
kind of resources do you need to take your service to the next level? From
Yeah.
That's from Max.
Hi, Max. Thanks for the comment. For youth era right now in Lane County specifically, it would look amazing if there was like some ability to collaborate within the community for like a space, like a drop-in space. We would
Right.
love that. We would love to always, funding is something we always need, but we're very interested in collaborations. Like I said, I in Lane County Youth Area is wanting to, build on community and be a part of the community, not just be like a
Hmm.
standalone entity.
Right.
So I think like partnerships and talking and of course finances and of course space.
Right. Yeah. Well, thanks, Mac, for that question.
Yeah.
You got another one? Let us know. We're what the So the impact what impact have you seen when young people get real leadership roles, like being that getting the services, and then the next day or the next year
Yeah.
they become a peer support or an advisor? What is that?
Mhm.
How what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, it's been powerful for sure. It's almost like a trickle down effect. You see that you support and then they grow, they learn, and then they turn around. So it's real. If you could see it in almost like a vision, it's real impact in waves and you are changing the world in that way because you're teaching people skills that they really need: nonviolent communication, motivational interviewing, life coaching. Every person deserves to know those types of things, and you don't get taught in just normal school. So these are the
Yeah.
types of skills, though. Just having healthy relationships can make an impact on your community. So I think, yeah, when youth do step into those peer or advisory roles, they see themselves differently, and that's what's most powerful. They see themselves as successful and that they are very capable of doing what they want to do.
If let me ask you if you could help the broader community better understand one thing about young
Yes.
people, the support they need, what would you say? What would that look like? What would you want them to know?
I would just want the broader community to know that young people and young adults, they really deserve support. They deserve this. Everyone really does deserve support in our community, and it shouldn't have to be at a cost, for our young people especially. They deserve safe spaces where they can be authentic and not have to experience judgment. They deserve room to figure out who they are, what they believe, and what kind of life they want to build. And that exploration is not a problem to fix. It's a part of development. And so as a
Oh,
community,
I
we really
like
need to
that
value.
exploration. That's good. I like that. Yeah. Well, I I think for me, I think I need to step back and put myself back and remember where I was
Hmm.
when I was young, and how much of a struggle it was to um, imagine being healthy, being safe, being in a good place. And some of those thoughts are pretty dark. And you know, um, it's been so removed for such a long time that I'm going to say, and I can't speak for every adult, but I think I could probably speak for many, that uh, we've forgotten what it's like to be young
Right. Yeah.
and be homeless, be with, be without food, be without clothing, be without support.
Hmm.
And that's a big challenge. And
Hmm.
uh, so is Youth ERA, is it just a local organization, or is this statewide or national wide or international? What does this look like in a big picture?
So we are statewide. However, we've definitely done work internationally and nationally. We've worked in Pennsylvania. We've done work with like Virginia and New Mexico. And we've also done work in the UK and even Africa. So Youthera is pretty amazing in the sense that, yeah, just like our peer support, we're extremely flexible and we're consistently evolving and adapting to everything around
Sure.
us. So, yeah, we're definitely, for sure, we're back in Lane County, and for
Right.
sure, we are across the state in Oregon.
So knowing that those state communities are different and international communities are much different, um, does that is that a positive thing to get new ideas on how to help the youth in these situations? Is this, or
100%.
is it? I guess I'm not really. Um, the first thing that comes to mind, and I do this in my communication class that I teach on Mondays at the mission. That uh, you know, culture is different even in the United States from one state to another. A
Hmm.
stark difference between the South and say Southern California, Southern California to South Alabama, much different culture, much different in terms of demand, terms of funding, and so forth. But do you see cultural differences uh, across other states?
Oh, 100%. I mean, like you said, we see cultural differences just from school to school.
Mm,
Just from program to program, right? Right now I'm overseeing our programs here at Youth Era, and so it's stark difference between the types of programs we have in like the Portland metro area and then the types of programs that we have in Medford or Jackson. They're completely like it's totally responsive to youth and young adults, and that's one thing I really cherish about working here at Youth Era is our hiring practices are on point. Like we really think about and we only will hire folks who are enriched in that community, have the lived experience of the youth that they're going to be serving. So it just feels like home most of the time.
yeah, yeah. Well, Max has another question.
Okay.
Are you noticing any similarities in the profiles of young people that are stopping by?
Any similarities in the profiles? Yeah, I mean, I think we see a lot of youth who are very creative. Um, a lot of youth,
Ah,
I mean, it is young people too that I think are experiencing some level of stigma elsewhere. And so they're attracted to our programs because when you walk in, that the judgment is gone. We just made sure of that. And
right.
so I think like, young people who may be outside or in school are experiencing some level of stigma love to come to Youth Era. It's definitely varies based on area too, the types of youth who come, but I mean, it truly varies.
Sure.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: how just on a not a perfect calculation, but on just a rough estimate, how many of these young people are actually not finished with their education, are not in school on a regular basis, are struggling at that point? Because the sad part about this conversation is we've put so much emphasis on having an education, a degree to get a job, history, and these young people are at a deficit at that point if they're not in school. And I don't want to sound like that. That's the typical
Hmm.
conversation
Hmm.
that goes between adults and children and young people. But is that a struggle? Are some of these kids not going to school,
Yeah,
not
I mean,
getting the
100%.
education?
Some of
Uh,
our youth are not, right? But, that's again, Youth Era is so beautiful and unique in how we talk with young people. So instead of us being like, why aren't you going to school or you should be going to school, we'll ask questions like, what is it that you hope for in the future?
hmm
Right? Because our society has led youth, and that's why youth are honestly push against it when they do, is because
Yeah,
it's been something that's kind of forced upon them, so to speak. And while we really we want youth in school, we want them getting an education, but we want them to feel motivated to do so.
sure.
And that starts in here, that starts in their heart. So
Yeah,
that's our goal. And that's what really we need our community to realize that if you want to see change in anybody, you have to engage their heart first. You have to engage, like, how are they viewing
uh,
themselves? What are their goals and passions? If they're feeling passionless, why? What is contributing to that in the community? What is contributing to that in their life? And working with them to address it, to fix it, to fill the gap, to fill the hole, so that way they can get to a place where, yeah, I feel encouraged to go to school. I want to go to school instead of being told you will go to school.
sure.
Mhm.
Well, I remember that conversation. I
Yeah,
barely
and
made
I'm
it
sure
through high
you did
school.
because you were
And,
good.
and the interesting thing about that is that it it took me almost 5 years after leaving school to want to go back, but
Mhm.
um, I wasn't ready at the time, and I
Mhm.
suspect that some of these kids have the same feeling that eventually they realize that, oh, I want to go back and do this. I want to go back and do that. And
Mhm.
you have an opportunity to support them, don't you? In that,
Yeah, we do. And we also have the opportunity to say that, life is not about comparison.
yep,
So, whatever journey and path you're on, that's okay to be right where you're at. As
yeah,
long as we have like an identified next step, then we feel good.
yeah. Wow, I like that. I like that a lot,
You
actually.
see
That
how it
it
takes
just
all the pressure off? Like, it really removes the pressure and just allows you it's an invitation. You're allowed to just exist. I mean, look at our society and culture we're living in right now.
oh yeah,
This is why this is so important. We need more of just you are allowed to exist how you exist. Let's just think about our next step. We're not looking a million miles down the road. We're looking at what's our next step today.
right. And it empowers their voice. It
Mhm.
empowers their feeling. It empowers the whole notion of them being.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. So, is there anything else that you want to share with the audience? We're
Yeah, I
getting
mean,
kind of close to the end.
yeah, well, I just want to say thank you so much for even hosting this. And I will
Oh,
say, like, when I saw the post that you did with the gentleman from Whitebird, I think.
hmm yeah,
Okay. So I
Justin.
saw that and I was like, I love Whitebird. So I just decided to comment and took my shot. And I was like, hey, if you want to collab. And then you responded right away. So good job.
Yeah.
But
Well, I,
yeah.
yeah, I try to stay up on it, and the hope is that this program, not just about mental health, about wellness,
Hmm.
but also I'm hoping that I can get some leadership at the county level or the state level or the city level to come on and have conversations, because
I would love
as
that.
we know, they are sometimes the ones who hold, well,
Yeah.
they
The
hold the
decision
purse,
making
right?
power.
They hold the
Hmm.
decision making power, and having them involved in the conversation is a good thing too. So
Hmm.
I'm hoping that this morphs into something. Uh, well, that there's a whole list of comments in the comment box, and we're having a great conversation, and we don't worry about that they're coming in groves wanting to be on the show. I hope and pray that that happens someday. We'll see.
Yeah. Just call it in. It's yours. It's
Right,
going to
right
happen.
on. Yeah. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back.
Lifestyles Renewed is a place where you can find a safe and welcoming place to begin to heal and create a life where suffering is not the regular path, but rather where you can learn to manage your life in a healthy way. Lifestyles Renewed will offer hope and help you regain control over your life. Please don't hesitate to call. Your first consultation is the most important meeting, and it is at no cost to you. Just call 541 954 1268. Again, 541 954 1268. Thank you, and we look forward to meeting you.
Well, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. There's probably a profound question in the chat box. One of the last questions. If you had one ask, Crissy, one ask of the community, what would that be?
Gosh,
Your
that's a
big wish.
hmm. I guess I would say to participate. Like, actually just,
Ah,
because it's, right now I'm noticing like a lot of the things in our community that could impact and like could be like this decision making power you're talking about, like
right.
families and youth and young adults don't know how much is really happening like in councils across the state or in Lane County or things. So I would just say, like, let's get involved. And let's do where's like our celebrations. I want to bring back our celebrations and just be a community together and break bread together. And yeah, I would say one thing, yeah, just participate.
Yeah. Well, Chrissy, this has been a wonderful conversation, and I am so glad that you took the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with us.
Yeah.
We're in the process of growing as well, and this is going to be a topic. My guess is um, I'd like to have you back in a year and let's talk
Oh, I would
again.
love that. Yes.
See what it's going. Maybe we don't even need to wait a year. I don't know. We'll just. Uh, but it is so important. We need to give the next generation of leaders the power and the opportunity to be successful as young people, and to have a foundation for them to be able to grow, be able to feel safe. Um, I don't know. I'd have to say, if I was a young person right now, I'd be scared to death. I really,
Yeah.
and I don't mean that to be dark, but I look at my own kids and their children, and I just, it's different.
It's
And
way different. Yeah.
yeah,
And humans are resilient. We've
yes, we
are
are.
yeah, all cultures over time have had to really battle some intense things, and nowadays we do have the tools. We can learn the skills, right? So it's about having current leaders be that kind of voice to remind people like it is dark, but you are the light.
Yeah. So I don't want to get too political, but from a legislative perspective,
Hmm.
um, are you all banging the gavel at some of the local county commissioners meetings, the
Mm.
state? Are things? Is there someone who's responsible for that? And are you doing the due diligence at that level,
Yeah, I love that.
banging on the door?
Yeah, 100%. So our CEO, Martin Rafferty, that's like his bread and butter in a way. Like he is
Oh,
an advocate, fierce, one that can actually, be in those types of rooms with the influencers and the decision makers and advocate on a very high level
right.
for things like peer support, for things like mental health, wellness, those types of things. So I'll just say, we 100% have all different types of folks too who do advocacy work. We even do like contracting work where we work with folks who, are in college and this is something that they want to do is legislative work. So yeah, 100%. And you have to be on that.
Yeah. Well, Chrissy, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I can't begin to thank you for the opportunity to have
Yes.
you on the show. And yes, we will have you back. I promise. I definitely going to keep this one close because, again, like I said earlier, these are our leaders. These
Yeah.
are our future leaders. These are the people that are going to um, be making decisions
Hmm.
for for the way of life we have, and we need to support them right now.
I agree.
This is a big deal.
Well,
So,
thank you so much,
Chrissy,
Ben. I
thank
appreciate
you.
you. All
Yes, I appreciate you too. Thank you
right.
so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Okay, everyone, we will be back next week. Right now, we're still looking for that guest for next week. But as it's been, we've been pretty successful at filling it. On the 19th, we have Dr. Silberman. He's uh, a psychologist here in town. On the 26th, we have Alexandra Kalner. She's um, a what's the word I want to use? A hypnotherapist. She's a hypnotherapist. And then Roger Younger on April 9th. So we still have a few weeks away to plug, but we're making great strides and we're so happy you tuned in. I am grateful for each and every one of you, and we look forward to seeing you next week, 11:30 a.m. on Thursday.